Hey everyone, Locust Nick here. I quickly want to thank you all for 45 subscribers and all the support towards the Retro Gaming Facts videos. This is season 1. It will include part 1 all the way to part 10. In fact, every season will have 10 videos onto it. I plan on doing this a lot more often because of all the views. I mean, I get thousands of views for these. But yeah, that's it. So enjoy watching.
So I'm going to show you how to break these walls in Skylander's trap team without a bomb. So first, you want to get any Skylander that is a giant. And all you have to do is just punch it. These two Super Nintendo games are actually pretty different. Originally, Super Nintendo games had this notch in the middle. It made it a little bit harder to take the game out. Eventually, they opted for this design so you can take the game out easier without using the eject button. These NES games are actually pretty different, but the same. The modern ones had 3 screws, and the older ones had 5 screws. There's also colored cartridges too. I think it's about time I show you some slots on some game consoles. If you look on the back of a Sega Genesis, you'll find this. This is for the Sega CD. If you don't have one, I recommend you keep this piece on. If you look on the bottom of a Super Nintendo, you'll find this port. This is used for some accessories. I really can't name any. On the N64, you'll find this hole. It's for the memory. There's also an expansion pack. On the bottom of the N64, you'll find a port for the N64 DD system. It plays floppy disks. On the PS1, you'll find this parallel I.O. port and the serial I.O. port. This is used for cheat devices, and this you can actually use for 2-console multiplayer. On the back of the PS2, you can find this expansion bay hole. They made network adapters, and you can even mod it with FreeMcBoot and use a hard drive. You can also stash things in here. Here's a Famicom game. Fits all the way in there. Also on most PS2 systems, including the Slim, you can flip the logo. With certain movies, you can get custom themes on your PS3. I'm going to use Resident Evil Afterlife as an example. All you gotta do is put the disc in and go under the game tab. After a few seconds, this will pop up. I'm gonna hit it, and there you go. So remember, anytime you put a Blu-ray in a PS3, always check under the game tab and you might get a really cool theme. Did you know that your PlayStation 2 copy of BMX XXX has these 2 secrets? If you got the game brand new, it would come with this poster. However, if you got a little bit too curious and took the insert out, you'd get this. Please like and share because this is going to get me in a lot of trouble. Did you know that games from other regions have different names? For example, here's a copy of Resident Evil 5, or Biohazard 5 as it says right here. If you haven't noticed by now, this is a copy for Korean consoles, or NTSC-J if you want to get technical about it. Every Resident Evil has this name because they couldn't trademark the name Biohazard in North America. This really isn't a retro gaming fact, but I'm going to show you anyways. So this cable right here is actually for a game called Rocksmith. There's a 360 version and the 2014 version on Xbox One. Yes, it works for Series X. Obviously, this end will plug into your Xbox, and this end will plug into your guitar or bass. The cable also has a breakaway feature in case you get too far from the console. If you want to get the best sound out of a speaker, you would have to use one of these fiber optic cables. The simpler option is just to use a headset plugged into your controller so you don't get any delay whatsoever. I forgot to mention only the Xbox Ones have the fiber optic input, so if you're Series X, you're stuck with this. So this is a regular PS1 game. This is a greatest hits PS1 game. And this is a multi-disc PS1 game. But did you know, originally PlayStation used these long boxes for their games. Eventually they opted for CD cases. Games like this Resident Evil game are pretty expensive. However, most of them can range from like 10 to 30 bucks. There's actually a ton of long box games, so if you ever find one, go ahead and get it. Did you know if you take the charger for a PS4 controller, hook it up to your PS4 controller, you could actually use it on your PS3. We finally made it to episode 10 of Retro Gaming Facts. Anyways, did you know on most Simpsons merchandise, Bart always wears a blue shirt? This is no exception for the Simpsons Hit and Run video game. As you can see, he's wearing a blue shirt. However, if you play the game, you'll see he wears his normal t-shirt. I want to thank you guys for 16,000 views total. This wouldn't be possible if I never did the Retro Gaming Facts series. I also want to thank you guys for 41 subscribers. You know what, if I hit 50, I will eat an entire can of Spam raw.